Jeez. I've gotten more excited, yeah.
Sounds so thrilled.
I'm like, I think college is way easier than
But first, here's a new song.
Is that too low for you? You know the only good thing about going to UCF? You get discounted at parking. Really good.
You're not just one damn thing.
I don't know, but I think
You say you love, it's hard to be in sync. We were set for life, then it's on the other side. Now I'm dancing on a run. Oh, Gemini makes me feel alive. Wake me up, shake me up. They say all that you do is lie. There's inside of you, pulls me into you. Got that way of showing me that you're bad news. Oh, Gemini makes me feel alive. Wake me up, shake me up. They say all that you do is lie. Up in the air, that's where you take me, I swear. I know it's not true, would be a game of truth or dare.
Although I don't really.
We were set for life, then it's on the other side. Now I'm dancing on a run. Gemini makes me feel alive. Wake me up, shake me up. They say all that you do is lie. There's inside of you, pulls me into you. Got that way of showing me that you're bad news. Oh, Gemini makes me feel alive. Wake me up, shake me up. They say all that you do is lie. All that you do is lie. All that you do is lie. Up in the air, that's where you take me, I swear. I always knew that you would be a key of truth or dare. Oh, Gemini makes me feel alive. Wake me up, shake me up. They say all that you do is lie. There's inside of you, pulls me into you. Got that way of showing me that you're bad news. Oh, Gemini makes me feel alive. Wake me up, shake me up. They say all that you do is lie. Gemini, all that you do is lie. All you do is lie.
When people stop, they can realize that I was ugly. She like changed. And I'm humble. And I'm skinny.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat at Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dreaming. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
All day long. All day long.
Like I said, I'm an oldie.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a beautiful Thursday afternoon. We got a lot of stuff to cover today. So get pencil, get paper.
What class?
I told you guys yesterday when the singing.
What classes are you
music was
picking?
on, you guys thought I was kidding, and I wasn't kidding. I was telling you the truth because the man sings. We're gonna do a party at the house. We're gonna do his list with him.
You're a little bit living in the desert here, my friend.
I have a really embarrassing
Beautiful.
problem.
You got the trees in your shop.
I will hiccup and burp right
It's
after.
beautiful,
I
by
think
the way.
that's what that was.
Oh my
You
God.
know,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
OMG Flower Boutique yesterday's show.
Yes.
He matched a landscape,
Yes?
which
Yeah.
is amazing.
Isn't that OMG? Oh my God.
Yes, it is. We got Gio on the set. We got a lot of things. We've got some new sculpture on the set. So happy Thursday to you.
Taking
I
like
got my
8 beats and
point.
shit.
Good.
Because I'd be before.
1 and 2
For now?
1 and 2.
You know, Amy used that pointer yesterday. She was pointing to things. We've had a lot of news too.
Wait a
to
minute,
announce.
hold on a second.
I was like,
I don't let anybody touch your wands. And you let people touch
oh my
yours.
God.
She went in and she
9.7.
picked it up.
Put my fingers.
It's like, you have 11 in there.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Wow, I can't believe you let
I think
Amy,
Slick
You
let her
go
do it.
over there.
you let Amy touch my hand. Are you insane? I was wondering why I was out here.
Hand to God.
But they're always like kind of looking.
Hand in the cookie
You
jar, I
guys are just
tell
very
you.
disappointing.
Actually, Valentine's
I know, I got a lot of big news to open up with before we get to our guests. Tonight,
I wouldn't
June
expect it from
3rd,
them,
from
and
6
we were all like,
to 8 p.m., Brooke
But
and
it's
Arrow
consensus,
Clothing
but they would
Boutique,
play sports,
located
they
in
would
Delray
go out,
Marketplace. They
they
are
also
doing an
would
event
study,
to
like-
help support Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and dementia. So here's an RSVP link. You can contact Pamela Polani at the Brain Bowl. And
That's not fair. Is she
portion of the
athletic?
proceeds of all the sales of
Good.
tonight,
Oh,
ladies
so
go
that's
shopping.
the-
Go back to Alzheimer's and
not fair when they
Parkinson's
have a good
research and
personality.
the Brain Bowl.
Are
Where
really
is
smart
that?
and really
Where is
athletic.
that?
It is
And
at
really
Brook
good
and
looking.
Arrow.
That's just-
It is at the Delray Marketplace,
Yeah.
14917 Lions Road.
I have one kid.
6 to 8 p.m. Brook and Arrow, a
he-
lovely
whew,
clothing store.
he's
They've
like
got casual
6 bucks.
clothes, shorts, a little bit dressy clothes,
Very
upscale
muscular
casual.
lacrosse guy.
Called Broken
Going to
Arrow.
Brooke?
Harvard.
Oh, Brooke.
All
Brooke?
American.
Harvard.
He said Broken Arrow.
Harvard.
Brooke?
whatever. He's not Harvard. He's all
You
American.
have to speak English.
Has the
Brooke
most.
and
He's the
Arrow.
most attractive man I've ever
Check
seen.
it out.
He's the
It's
most
at the Delray
beautiful,
Marketplace, and you know what? They
mint
say get ready
green
for
eyes.
drinks, raffle giveaways, and more.
He is
Vendors will
so
be there.
Mint green.
Exactly.
There
You
is
never
nothing better
expect
than
it.
a
He's
gold
the most
bike.
They gotta be
good-looking.
contacts.
They're not. I've known. I've
Each
known him
sale
since
goes
like.
back to Brain Bowl
I've known
event.
him
There's
since
another
he was
event for
like
the Brain Bowl
a small
happening in
young kid,
October,
and
so
I
we'll
know
be
they're not
covering that
Really?
at
Like, this is
You
how
guys
it
say
is.
at
age?
Boca
Yeah,
West
he's
Country
couple years
Club
younger than I.
Dog Park.
What?
So-
No.
He's
I wanna
crazy,
go
but,
to
like,
an old dog
he's-
park.
I was
Another
talking about
dog
him
park,
with my
yes, but I
boyfriend
guess they're
and
not
my
quite
friend
sure
the other
whether
day.
they
He's
were
like,
open
yeah,
for
but you
events
can't
yet
talk
when
to
they
girls.
booked
Shit.
things,
Do
so
you have a
But they have a
boyfriend?
dog
Yeah.
park.
apparently they have a dog park
Well,
in
we
Boca
can't
I
West.
finally started introducing my boyfriend to my friends. Like not like introducing
Apparently,
like they don't
we've been
exist,
now
but finally,
dubbed
like
those that do
Is
events
it
on
like
the outside.
Is it a new relationship?
Wow.
no, but he did me relationship in the past in June. Like
You know, a dog park, what they
we
do.
kind of broke up because he was
You
going
like
to
the dog.
Georgia, and I
Yeah,
originally
why do you
was
think
going to
we're
Rollins College.
And Boca dogs don't do
So we were
that.
like, what? It was a
Oh,
pandemic too,
I
so
see.
we were like, okay, we're
Bocas
not
don't
together.
do that.
Boca's
Boca
dogs
dogs.
are
then-
different.
Like, I was just really
Really?
fucking
Because in
upset.
front of
and
my
Where do you
house, I
have-
see
you-
nothing
you're
but
at a
ladies
theater.
and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
I
who
was
do
going to
that.
Rollins. I was
Good
gonna
morning,
commit there
Jojo.
for
She's in the
softball,
keys. She
but
says, turn off
it
the
just fell
speaker.
through
I
and
can hear
couldn't
another
afford to go
conversation
there
and she
without
can't
it.
hear me.
So I was like, I'd
Let's
rather
see if
not.
they've got the mics on in
So-
Studio A, guys.
Yeah, Rollins is
Let's see that little chit chat going on. Thank you, Jojo, for writing.
Next time, call in, Jojo. See, Jojo promised me to be here Friday last week, and she went right by the place.
What was on? Just two mics, and my mic wasn't on. Is my mic on, guys? Yeah, it is now.
Jojo, write in and see if you can hear us.
Jojo, let us know if you can hear us, and you can hear Freddie clearly. So check it out tonight, June 3rd, 6 to 8 at Brook and Arrow. Ladies go on shopping. The guys can hang out at one of the local restaurants. I think there's even a brewery up the street there. Your movie theater is probably opening up soon.
Why would I go to another place when they have booze and clothes there?
Because it's ladies.
So what?
So 50% of proceeds go
Guys
back
can't buy
to
their ladies
Rainbow.
something? You have some kind of phobia. If I wanted to buy somebody a bikini, can I go into a women's store and do that?
Sure. And actually tonight our crew is heading out on a shoot for Katrina Galleries. There is a Meet the Artist event on Saturday. If you want, it's a VIP event. You can text Katrina at 561-599-0809. Katrina Gallery and Open Studio welcomes you June 5th at 6 o'clock. So
That's
12
right down
new
the street.
artists right around the street, right behind Boca Bargoons. It's a small, intimate studio gallery, so they have limited invitations, but
You
check
have
it
to
out.
give Slick directions. I will guarantee you that he will get lost from here to down the street. He will get lost. Guaranteed.
It's behind Boca Bargoons. He might.
No, he will.
He very might. And tonight we've got a very special show. I told you I got a lot of things to talk about today.
I love the way you use your wand.
Yes. Tonight we got a very special
why you need a
show.
finger.
7:30 live. We've got Jane Goldie Wynn joining us for a live show on WNN Radio talking about Rainbow in the Night, A Journey of Redemption. It is her story and her book, and we are kicking off a book signing here at the end of July. Some more information to come with that, a little bit of wine, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of book signing, and maybe we can get them to perform if our sound engineer is available.
No, he's not. He's going to go sound engineer somewhere else.
Sound engineer, what happened to our audio in here?
Now I'm going to give you another curveball. I'm going to give you another
I thought it was
curveball.
good. What mic was on and what mic was off?
I'm going to give you another curveball. Ladies and gentlemen, behind us are the commercials that are playing on Comcast. If you have seen any of the commercials, whether it's ours, Triumph, Rescue 911, which is the other one? There's four.
AMP Media, AMP2 TV, Triumph, and Rescue Clean 911.
Those, if you've seen it and you tell us the time and the channel you saw it on, you get a bag of coffee, you got to call us immediately. What's the number here?
888-994-4995, Studio A. Apparently JoJo saw that we've got Sherry joining us with these beautiful biblical sculptures, and she sent you a picture. So the message is, tell Freddie to look at the picture I sent him.
Tell her I'm not, because she was supposed to be here Friday, and she drove right past me to the Keys. So you know what, JoJo? Keep going.
But I'm excited because Goldie introduced us to Sherry and Rick Heller. She left us their cards when she was here the other day. And wow, I got to tell you, these sculptures are spectacular. You got the picture?
Yes.
What is it?
This is where we are going to go do a shoot. This is in Key Largo, underneath the ocean.
Yes, it is. That's the Dignity Memorial. That is at the Reef.
Yeah. And she sent me a picture. She says, where I am the boys, because she talks to her phone. She don't speak a good English either. Where I am, the boys went diving yesterday and saw it. They said it was unbelievable. A lot of background noise. Can nearly hear dawn. Nearly hear dawn.
We got that taken care of.
Yes, that picture, we're going down to the Reef. I don't think this is the Reef, though.
I think it is.
I don't think so. He's not in the Keys. His is in South Miami.
That's where it is. It's off of Key Biscayne.
Is it? She's not in Key Biscayne.
Where is
She's
she?
in the... Georgia, why don't you call in Georgia and let us know where you are? I don't know. She's in Key Largo.
It's right over there. You can go. I think that's what it is. That's the Neptune Reef, but Dignity Memorial. It's 16 acres of underground reef that they're on their second phase. It's amazing. If you were looking to do pre-planning and you're interested in cremation, your remains get mixed with a pillar, or you can get a turtle, or all different things, and then you become part of the living society of the Neptune Memorial Reef and bringing back the sea life and giving them a place down in the Keys, and it's beautiful. Actually, Wayne Henry's going to be here tomorrow, and we have a turtle that we're making to memory of all of those lives that were lost during COVID.
That's
so
right.
we're going to have a turtle here on the set from the Reef.
I just got a text from Bonnie. She says that Luna Rosa has brunch specials. They are also giving free parking for dinner hours, 4:30 p.m. to close.
Nice.
Yeah, entrees at Cafe Luna Rosa. If you tell them the cafe sent you, they may even give you something special.
JoJo's in Key Largo, so that's exactly where she is.
And she's in Key
The
Largo.
Neptune Memorial Reef.
Is that where it is? JoJo, let me know if you want to go swim with the fishes, because I
She
can
said her
arrange it.
cell reception is bad.
I could put you down there with them. Let me know. I got connections. I know high people and very low underwater sea places.
Well, let's check in with our guests. We've got Sherry Heller and we've got Rick Heller joining us. Sherry is this, oh my gosh, look at these spectacular sculptures. And her husband Rick wrote a book, Love Stories from Messiah, Volume 1. So let's kick it over to camera 2 and see, welcome our guests. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sherry, I spoke with both of you and Rick last night, and it was such an intriguing conversation. You're friends with Goldie. These pieces, this one of Samson is amazing.
Oh, thank
We've got
you.
pieces all over the studio. There's a piece next to you, also on the table. Which one is next to you?
Daniel.
We have Daniel in the Lion's Den.
Wow. What are all of these made from?
They're all originally ceramic sculptures made out of a lump of clay, and now I cast them in resin and plaster, so there are a variety of materials that you can get our sculptures in.
Now, you sell the original, one of a kind, or you sell duplicates, correct?
Both, yes. I sell the original and resin replicas and plaster replicas. And they're exactly the same because I mold the sculptures myself and I will cast them in plaster or resin.
And what is alabaster?
Alabaster is a stone, and it's a certain color. It's a light-colored stone, and I do make some of the sculptures in an alabaster or a sandstone finish. You can have a bronze finish, a copper finish. You could have hand-painted finish. I do have some hand-painted sculptures here. On the table, I have a Jonah and the whale, and I have a Moses and the Ten Commandments.
Isn't that amazing?
How did you get involved sculpting scenes from the Bible?
Well, I love the Bible, and I read the Bible all the time. And from an early age, I loved Bible stories. And when you start a sculpture, and after not sculpting for many years, you have a ball of clay or a lump of clay in your hands. And as I was working the clay, I was able to see like the Samson come out of it, or the Jonah, or the Moses, because that was in my heart, and it just came out of the clay.
So you don't say, okay, today I'm going to make Samson.
No.
You just start sculpting and there it is.
There it is, comes right out of the clay.
I got to tell you, this is spectacular, right? You love it. Would you have a favorite so far? I think maybe this one.
This one.
Why?
But because I was telling her the story when I was in Greece, and I had an alabaster. Now, my alabaster wasn't white, but it was like an off-white. And it had 14-karat gold bow and arrow. And it was the goddess, whatever her name was. And I traveled 1,600 miles. I tucked it under my arm, bubble wrapped it in quadruple, and I was fine. I got back to New York. I put it on the table, and I tell Michelle, don't touch this. And she goes, vacuums, and she knocks it over into a billion pieces.
Oh, no.
I cry for 3 days.
Wow.
I carry that thing all over the world, and then I try to glue it together. And it doesn't work too well.
No.
Wow. Oh, my gosh.
It's like this when I finish.
Oh, my goodness.
And it broke my heart. So I'm watching, these things are magical. Depending on what material you use, because if you like to touchy-feel things, you know, like flowers,
Yes.
textures, these things are magical. They can make you feel better. They can take away all the anger from your body. If you're having a bad day and you sit with this, you have a hot cup of something and you sit right in front of it, it just talks about the Bible, which is what the Bible is meant to do.
Yeah.
It's to cleanse and to calm the savage beast.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Ask him.
Oh yes, definitely. You have to provide the calmness, the healing, to change your focus from your problems, to set your heart on the Lord. It can be so peaceful. And these sculptures actually help to do that.
Agreed.
And you wrote this
Absolutely.
book, Love Stories from Messiah, and your story is amazing. Tell us about you.
Oh, goodness. All right, I'll start at the very beginning. About when I was 7 years old, at the time, my family had no inkling of knowing that they were Jewish. So we were members of the Baptist church in the town of Avon, Massachusetts, a little bitty town. But it was my turn to get up and read. And my passage to read has since become my favorite, John 3:16, which says, "For God so loves the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him will not perish, but have everlasting life." Now, when I read that, I had the strangest experience of my life. I had a vision. I could see the world like from orbit. You know, pictures of space station looking down. See it, and I could feel God's heart for all of us. For this world that he loved so much to send his son, Jesus, or Yeshua as we call him because we're Messianic. And that's the, so he, from that point on, he had a hand on my life. But it wasn't until much later, till I was 17, 18 years old, that I really came to an adult faith in the risen Messiah of Israel. I call him Yeshua HaMashiach, but the rest of the world calls him Jesus the Messiah or Jesus the Christ. And on that, when that happened, I had the usual teenage angst. So I was arguing, you know, I was all sorts of pressures and, you know, emotions and hormones. They get you a little bit crazy as a teenager. I had a friend who used to be heavy into drugs, and he just got calmer and more peaceful and straight. So one day I asked him, I said, "What is it with you, man? My world's falling apart." And there you are. You're so peaceful and calm. He looked at me and said, "It's Jesus, man." So that night, my parents were in Florida vacationing, and I was back home in Massachusetts. I went home and I had it out with God. I mean, just yelling and screaming and just getting all this emotional stuff out until I finally surrendered. And when I did that, he changed my heart. To me, inexplicably, mysteriously, I suddenly found I had this love for Israel. And before that, I didn't even know, I hardly knew Israel existed. But suddenly, I'm just in love with Israel as God's special miracle for this time. And that, you know, I went with my friends to local churches. On Wednesday, we had a Catholic Charismatic Bible study on Wednesday nights, a Pentecostal service on Sundays. I didn't care. I just couldn't get enough. And there was a book called Good News for Modern Man. I think I devoured it. So that was part of it. It wasn't until later when I was in the Navy that a friend of mine invited me to his Messianic synagogue. I said, "What is that?" He explained that it's Jewish people who have come to know and believe in Yeshua, Jesus, as their Messiah. I said, "Wow." Not knowing anything about it, I went, and once I went through the door, this was in Virginia Beach. Once I went through that door, do you know how God sometimes speaks to you? Maybe not audibly in words, but it could be. And just puts an impression on you, and touches you. I knew I couldn't go anywhere else. I had to keep going back there. So whenever I was in port, I kept going back there. And eventually, I met Sherry, and it was at a congregational party just before Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. And she was so worried. Here I was, a sailor all by himself during
Poor lonely sailor.
And so she insisted, worked it out with a friend across the street that I would have dinner at their house and come over to Sherry's house for dessert.
And he never left.
Never left.
Never.
Never left.
Never left. Her coffee was very good.
So were you part of the same congregation, Sherry?
Yes, absolutely.
Were you always from little being a Messianic Jew, or did you?
No,
did that
I
change
was
for you?
raised a regular Jew, and it was much later as an adult that I found amazing things that God loved me just as I was. So I stopped hating myself and punishing myself. And I had a friend who said, "Oh, I want you to meet some Jewish friends of mine." And she just took me to a Messianic synagogue, but she did not tell me what it was. And every time they said the word Yeshua or Jesus, I expected a lightning bolt to come through the ceiling and strike me dead, because we were raised that there are Jews and then there are the other people who believe in Jesus, and we shouldn't be one of those. But being in the congregation, my heart just opened up, and I fell in love with Yeshua, and I fell in love with the Bible, and I fell in love with Rick.
Yes.
And here we are.
It's really interesting because people believe there's two sects, right? But here you are bringing it together.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that like for you?
Well,
What did that change for your family, for your friends? Was there judgment on either one of your sides? Because you weren't raised Jewish, Rick, but now here you are. You are a Messianic rabbi,
Yes. Mhm.
right?
Yes.
And Sherry, you were raised Jewish, but now here you are believing in Yeshua. So you both come from different backgrounds, but come together in one common religion.
well, at first, my family was appalled. What are you doing? And unfortunately, even today, some Jewish people think that you're not Jewish anymore when you accept Jesus as your Messiah. And that's not true. We are who we are. I was born Jewish. I am Jewish. I celebrate the Jewish holidays. And actually, I got to learn more of the Bible than I ever had as a child. So it was a wonderful transformation. And I was completely transformed because I was from the day when sex, love, and rock and roll.
You were a hippie.
Yeah, I was a
Yeah,
hippie,
hippie.
for sure. And my parents never, they just didn't think I'd ever settle down and be a quote, quote, nice girl. And actually, when the Lord took hold of me, my life changed. And the things that I was engrossed in and the things that I was doing before, they just left me. I had no desire for those things. And it was wonderful because I had a peace that I never, ever had before. And it was like restoring me to sanity, let's say. It was just wonderful that I could just be who I was, and I didn't have to put on any airs. I didn't have to be anything but who I was, and I knew that God, Yeshua, loved me. And that was the biggest, biggest change in my life.
You know, it's funny because when I was growing up, I was an altar boy because I had to do my confirmation. And I did my confirmation and I stuck around being an altar boy for 3 years after. And all my friends, because I used to play a lot of baseball, a lot of stickball, I had a lot of friends. And they would all look at me. In the beginning, they would ask, why are you doing that, right? And then I used to tell them, I can't answer that. You have to come to the house. That's what we called it. And then you can answer your own question. So little by little, over 3 years, Dawn, they started to come in and sit in the back. So it was Father Frank came over to me and says, are those your friends? Now you gotta understand, you know, I was 12 and these are kids from the street. And I said, yeah. He says, what are they doing here? I says, you gotta go in the street, Father, if you wanna find out the answer to that. I said, they're here because the Bible the book, religion, forget about being Jewish or Catholic or atheist or not. It's one path towards loving thyself and one another. You have to figure out the math, right? So I'm an altar boy. I grew up with these whole things. There was the churches are cathedrals because they want to make you feel a little bit smaller, and you got to, like you guys do with the Monica?
Yarmulke.
Those,
Kippah.
those things. I didn't even know.
The Pope wears one too, by the way.
What?
The Pope wears one too, by the way.
He does. He borrowed it from the rabbi. I didn't even know the word until you showed me the other day.
What, yarmulke?
No, the believing in Christ as a Jew.
Messianic. Well, we were talking about Rick. Freddie had never heard
Never
of
heard
Messianic Jew before.
Right.
So I tell Dawn, a lot of us have to be there because where did it originate from?
You're all Jewish at one point.
At one point we were.
True.
So I guess we all are.
Yeah.
And isn't it amazing? No matter what synagogue, temple, church, whatever, when you walk in that building, you in religious ground, you in sacred ground, you on your best behavior.
Peace.
And then when you leave that building, then the real deal comes out, and you ain't doing that no more. Okay? And I think that building has to go with you. Has to go with you, not the other way around. It ain't about the building you're in, it's about the building in you. And as
your heart.
That's a great message.
When I was as an altar boy, that's what they taught me. They sat me down and they took me to some of the biggest churches in New York, Dawn. When I tell you big, St. Patty's, all of it. And then they came and said to me, what do you think? I said, oh, I love it. No, what's in your heart? They didn't care about the buildings. The message is what you establish.
Always.
So I applaud learning this. I learned this at the radio station. I was amazed. I kept you out there for like 20 minutes. This is what? It's amazing. Because there is a path to understanding whether or not you think that Christ is the Messiah or not. That is even the message. Look deep in here. Find out what's going on.
Oh, so Rick, for you, how did it evolve? You said you grew up Baptist, but never knew you were Jewish.
Never knew it. My family, I guess, was one that chose to hide it instead of fight. But and they probably did it for good reasons, considering the pogroms that took place in Russia and Europe, and especially Eastern Europe.
World War II.
Yes, and then there was World War II, of course. So it wasn't a great time to tell your kids, hey, you're Jewish. So, anyway, Sherry and I had been married for about 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years. We lived in Virginia Beach. And one Saturday, one Shabbat, she came home from a Bible study with the rabbi's mother. And she was so excited. She said, oh, we're going to know what tribe we're from. Isn't that cool? Isn't that great? And there are times when you don't even have to think the words. A prayer goes up right from your heart, just straight up to the throne of God. And he answered it just as fast. Because my prayer was, because I didn't know about it, he said, what about me? He answered, as soon as that prayer went up, he gave me an answer that drove me to my knees. He said, you're of Judah, which is, of course, one of the tribes of Israel. And later on, years later, after we moved to Florida, I had the genetic test. I was satisfied with God's answer, but I got the genetic test anyway. And they discovered that on both sides, mother and father, I had the identifying markings of being Jewish.
Wow.
So it was no mistake that God drew me into, Messianic Judaism. And I've had wonderful, wonderful teachers along the way, and rabbis that I've worked with, I've cantored for.
He's a wonderful singer.
And and then for the past 3 years, we've had our home fellowship. But then for the past 14 months, we've had to do it on Zoom. We have people from Minnesota and Florida and Pennsylvania and other states that join us on Wednesday nights. The name of our congregation, our fellowship, is Simchat Adonai, which means joy of the Lord.
And that's where the book came from.
All right, so let's hold that thought. Let's take a commercial break. When we come back, more to come. How do you like this so far? You learning a lot?
Love it. It's refreshing. You know, we do this every day. We've been doing it, 5-6 years now? And it's refreshing to see the other side, you know, of what we
Of
talk
faith?
about. Yeah, because we talk about this, but you know, because of being in the business, you sort of have to introduce it a different way. But it's there. It's really in front of you. And sometimes you hear a voice in your head telling you what to do, and you say, "Who's that?" And that's you. Get to know yourself.
All right, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, more to come with the Hellers. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Looking for a place to get your ice cream fix? Look no further than Cold Stone Creamery. At Cold Stone, we make our ice cream fresh every single day in store. We have over 20 different ice cream base flavors and over 30 different mix-ins to choose from. We also have plenty of signature creations if you don't want to go ahead and choose your own. To end your creation, you can put it in one of our freshly made waffles. We have ice cream cakes, ice cream sandwiches, milkshakes, smoothies, banana splits, sundaes, and so many other things for you to come check out and enjoy. We are the official ice cream store of the Brooklyn Cafe. Hope to see you soon, and remember, it's always a great day for ice cream.
Hi friends, it's Bree and Ali from Kids and Capes. Tune in Saturday mornings on the Brooklyn Cafe Kids Television Network at 10 o'clock, where we share fun and ideas. And remember, peace, love, and kindness.
The way you live your life says a lot about you. The way you choose to commemorate your lifetime can say even more. It's a single event that speaks volumes. So how do you celebrate a life? Dignity Memorial providers believe that your memorial service should be as unique as you are, reflecting your personality and your passions. It should be a perfectly tailored send-off, a fitting tribute for family and friends to celebrate the person they love. We're professionals at catering to your every need, right down to the catering. In fact, no detail is too small. So when it comes time for a fitting tribute, we'll see that your final wishes are beautifully fulfilled. It's what Dignity Memorial providers are known for. And why you should rely on us to see that your life is well celebrated. The celebration of a lifetime begins here.
Do you need a strong cup of coffee to get you through your day? Try your very own Brooklyn Cafe Show coffee, the official coffee of the Brooklyn Cafe Show. You can pick up a bag from us, or two. Contact us at 866-224-5422, or just stop on by. We're at 2400 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard, Suite 13. Come on in, grab a bag of our signature Brooklyn Cafe coffee. The cafe doors are always open.
If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would listen. It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have a platform you deserve to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE 255-312. That's CAFE 255-312. Or call us at 866-224-5422. Your voice can make a difference.
Dr. Laura Ellick, a licensed psychologist practicing in both Florida and New York with over 20 years of experience, addresses the negative thoughts that are keeping you stuck in your lifestyle patterns. Dr. Ellick works with children, teens, and adults, from anxiety and depression to eating disorders, addiction recovery, and medical issues. Making a deep interpersonal connection is a magical part of the therapeutic relationship. Contact Dr. Laura at 516-635-6186 or at Laura Ellick, ELLICK.com for a personalized consultation. It's time to remove the blocks that are preventing you from achieving your dreams. Call Dr. Laura Ellick at 516-635-6186 or at LAURAELLICK.com.
For over 30 years, the acute color sense and masterful presentations of this artist have inspired women worldwide. Barbara's style encompasses it all: bold and brazen, subtle and calming, drawing on unconventional techniques and tools, canvas spinning, scraping, and sandpapering. Her hallmark is highly textured surfaces and playful resin-filled abstracts. Barbara graduated magna cum laude from New York University. She studied at Cooper Union and the Boca Museum of Art. To view her artwork, visit her website at barbarasilvergallery.com or contact her by phone at 917-757-0447 or by email at barbarasilvergallery@gmail.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Now it's funny. You want to hear a funny story? When I was altar boy, there's a part where he holds up the Eucharist, and the bells ring. The altar boys have these bells, about 8 of them.
Is that why you ring a bell?
That's right.
Really?
That's right. And then you hold up the wine, and that's why I ring the bell.
I never knew that.
It goes to show you. I never share that with you. Wow. This guy's bringing out stuff in me. But that was why. And my friend Corby was altar boy with me, and he wanted to ring the bell. And I says, you got to be good to ring the bell. So I made him wait like 2 weeks, nonstop. We used to go every day.
Wow.
And then he rang the bell. I said, way to go. He was so proud of himself.
Slick, now you know the bell.
Yeah.
It's like a Freddie secret.
I was 12. That was a long time ago.
Wow. So let's get into this book, Love Stories from Messiah.
Yes. I actually didn't start off writing a book. I started off writing messages for my congregation. And one time, I just got an inspiration to try something a little bit different. You know, being a believer for all these years, I've heard thousands of messages. And they're all good. I've learned something, I think, from almost every one. At least I hope I have. But for this book, for the story, the first one, I actually said, okay, let's start off with this scripture and then wrap a story around it, intertwine them together. And my congregation was shocked. They loved it. They said, oh, wow. And again I do on succeeding weeks, and they'd say, you can't just leave these here. You have to write them up and put them in a book. And so here we are 2 years or so later from that, and this is volume 1 of a 3-volume set. I already have the materials together for volume 2 and over half of the materials for volume 3. But it's a wonderful time. It's like my communion time. When I sit down to write, I don't know what I'm writing. I have no idea where I'm going to start, what I'm going to write about.
It's like the sculpture.
Yes, exactly, like Sherry's sculpture. I pray and read the Bible a little, and God gives me the inspiration.
So these stories all come from you. These aren't stories that you've heard. These are all stories from within.
Well, there's maybe 1 or 2 that I've heard along the way that are interspersed in there, but everything else is from me.
From him?
And I got it from God, so it's really from him, not from me. There's, and it covers different genres, from the Roman Empire to the Old West of the 1860s. I particularly love that story, to the Holocaust, to modern life. You know, it's a journey across cultures and countries, because, see, we are all, as Freddie was saying earlier, we're all human beings. We all have the same needs and desires and temptations, and we have to choose individually for ourselves, sometimes moment by moment, day by day, whether we are going to serve God or something else, make something else in his place.
It's amazing, the whole thing, and we have these conversations all the time about bringing religion together instead of separate. And really what Jesus' message was, it was never to separate people, it was to bring people together. And that was the problem way back when it was. So he created what he created, and there's no doubt who he was and what he did, but somehow the politics got involved and everyone became separated instead of coming together, which is probably the full intention.
Right.
Right. Although if you look at the world, the state of the world today, you know, God knew that once we fell in the Garden of Eden, that there was a flaw, basically a terrible flaw in the human character. And so when it came to the Tower of Babel, what people regarded as a curse, suddenly being divided into separate languages and having in their own groups, actually turned out to be a thing of safety for all of us. Because if you weren't happy or comfortable someplace, you could go somewhere else. Maybe they ran their society a little bit differently in a way that you felt was right. But there was always sort of a built-in safety valve. But of course, you know, there are other forces that have twisted that from time to time and created horrible, horrible chaos and damage. But my book, the messages that I bring, you know, I want to answer basically 3 profound questions. One, first of all, does God really exist? Is he a figment of my imagination, or is he real? Another question is, well, if God exists, does he care about me personally? And that's not just me alone, but everybody, everyone out there, all of you. Does God care about you personally? Yes. And of course the answer is yes. And does he have a plan for your life? Yes, he does. No person, I don't believe anybody is here by accident. You know, God knows who was going to be born, who was going to be here, during what decade, what time. And he has a special plan for you, for me, for all of us. He loves us, and that is why he took our penalties on himself, on Yeshua, Jesus, his son, and paid for with his own life's blood, paid the penalty that we deserved, so that he could regard us as being as righteous as his son, and ultimately bring us home. And he does, as you brought out earlier. It's important, you know, several messages from the Bible. One is One, of course, to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And the other one that Jesus or Yeshua said is just as important is you should love your neighbor as yourself. If people did nothing but follow those two commandments, it would be a radically different world right now.
How about if people love themselves as much as they love their neighbor would be nice too.
Yes.
That's true.
Right?
And that's
And
first.
that was a good point you brought up, and I wholeheartedly agree.
And that's something we should all address, is what we try to address all the time is love God, believe in a greater power if you so choose, whatever that power is, but you got to love yourself as well.
Yes.
Always first. It's funny because my father once said to me, you know, if we can put down a person, a man who loves you, if we can put crucifixions, what he was talking about, if we can put that down, then never think you have all the answers because you never know. Think about the way things have worked out. There's been wars over Bible, over religion,
Sure.
religious wars and everything else. And that wasn't the intent. You know, that wasn't the message whatsoever. Religion became big business. There's a lot of money in religion. Whether you're a rabbi, a pope, a synagogue, whatever. A lot of money in religion. That wasn't the message either, you know. And my father gave me a chalice made of clay. I don't know where he got it. And he said to me, this is more valuable than anything made of gold. And I never understood what he was talking about. Because it's the simple things in life that mean something. When we start complicating it and everything else, man, look at the way the world turns out.
Yep, 100%.
Keep it simple, and it starts with you, you know?
What did the different sculptures mean to you, Sherry?
Well,
You know, I look at Jonah and the whale, and as a kid, you remember the story of Jonah and the whale.
yeah.
But biblically, as an adult, when you look at the story, when you made this sculpture,
Oh, well.
what does that story mean to you?
Well, Jonah was running from God. He didn't want to do what God told him to do. And so he got on a ship, and he went as far as he could go from where he was supposed to go. And of course, the Lord brought a storm, and finally, it was because of him they threw Jonah overboard, and he was eaten by a big fish. And that's what the picture depicts, him going down in the ocean. The big fish is ready
Camera 3.
to devour him. Well, when he was in the fish, he knew why, and he repented. And he said to God that he was sorry and that he would now be obedient. And then the Lord liked that and spew out Jonah to the land. Oh, and he has a great story about that in his book. And then he was obedient. And one of the things I had to learn in life is to be obedient, because I was raised that I could do anything I wanted to do, be anybody I wanted to be, and I was captain of my ship, and that's not exactly right. The thing that I learned while I was doing Jonah is that we have to be obedient to the Lord, because eventually we will be. And Jonah did what he was supposed to do, and it's a wonderful Bible story. A wonderful Bible story.
Do you have a favorite Bible story?
And it's true. And on my website, each sculpture has words from the Bible about that story that it depicts. And so you can get the whole story. And then for people who learn visually, you can see the sculpture and it comes alive. So it's very significant. Everything, like my Daniel here, he's in the lion's den. And the ferocious, hungry lions did not eat him. the lions sat down calmly and peacefully because the Lord was protecting Daniel. And if you look closely at the sculpture, you can see the peace in Daniel's face. You can see the calmness in the faces of the lions. And altogether, you can just sit there and look at art or sculpture, paintings, and it can move you in a deeper level than perhaps, just reading. So all these sculptures, they say something. And everything in the Bible says something. And we can learn from that. It's almost like a how-to book to live your life. Each story, each sculpture, each book that lifts up the Lord is just such a teaching thing and a wonderful thing. It's like honey, eating honey.
It's interesting. Rick, let me ask you, coming from the raised Baptist
Yes.
to now being Messianic Jewish, different, similar, more similar than dissimilar?
More similar than dissimilar. They both go back to the foundational 10 Commandments. So whether you're Baptist or Jewish, the 10 Commandments remain the same for everybody. And for the most part, they've usually been the foundation of supposed to be the foundation of our laws and our culture. I guess I had the advantage because I never grew up not believing in God, not believing in Jesus. But when God changed my heart and suddenly I was Messianic, it was a total change of life for me. And I can't imagine any other lifestyle than living and serving Him. We get with our fellowship, we have teachings, we have worship, we pray for people, and we get prayers answered. That's such
All
an
the
amazing
time.
thing.
Amazing.
And a lot of funny thing about my stories is, as I told you, God gives me the inspiration for the story, and many times I'll stop partway through and say, where are you going with this? But He always brings it around to what He wants. And if I go back and reread these messages afterwards, I knew that primarily He was preaching to me, telling me what I should do, what I shouldn't do, the things I should let go of, the things I should forgive, the things that I should encourage. Although I've talked with a number of other rabbis and pastors, when I confessed that to them, they said, "Oh yeah, I have that experience all the time." So maybe we're the ones who are the most needy of this instruction from God, and we just have the privilege of passing it on. And that's what this book's about. I want to encourage people. I want them to know that they can know God, that they can draw close and have a good relationship. They can love their neighbors. It doesn't matter what ethnic or national origin or any of these differences which mean nothing. They're human. They're God's creation inside. And each one is fearfully and wonderfully made in His image.
Have you guys found that people have changed in the past 14 months?
That people have changed?
Well, their outlook towards religion, towards faith.
Towards themselves.
It's it's been a little polarizing, because you have some people who, they're so grateful to be able to get together with other people. They're tired of being stuck in a house by themselves, or just the two or three of them, whatever. And they're hungry for fellowship. They're hungry for other people to talk to say, to really let them know that they matter, that they're important. And then there are some who are still, sadly, really entrapped by fear, which puts up a lot of walls, and they're after 14 months of this COVID thing, instead of celebrating that we're getting out of it, they're looking for the next disaster. And that's, so it's hard that way. Sometimes it breeds a lot of anxiety in people. And so we do end up having to pray for people a lot in regard to fears and anxiety. But the love, the scripture says, Yeshua said, when 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I'm there in the midst of you. And we found that to be true. Even when our gathering is spread from Philadelphia to Wisconsin to all parts of Florida, and another one who's out in Washington State, he is, when we get together in his name, we get strengthened, we get encouraged, we get uplifted. And it's because he's true to his word, his Holy Spirit is there with us, and it's such a joy. So that's really sort of what drives us, what caused the origin of this book.
How do you like the whole message, the Messianic Jewish?
I love it. It's funny because everything that's going on today, and I'm looking at the pieces, there's another message. I mean, think about the last 14 months sitting on that table right now. And you come out of the other side, if you're still alive, and you didn't get sick and what have you, you come out on the other side. But remember, a lot of the things that we do to ourselves, to our land, to ourselves, to others around us, there's accountability. There's accountability for what you do. So you got to man up and say, listen, I helped create, not alone, but I helped create this mess. Maybe we should try something different. That's why I love these things. I love what he writes about, because every day, I told you this a long time ago, you're going to get 7 messages a day. Whether you read it or not is a different dilemma, but 7. If you pay attention, your life will be so much better. You won't be angry, you won't be lost, and you know where you stand. And then everybody else, like the good book says, will drink from that same wine. All of a sudden, that's when he met in a gathering, a group. He's there. That's really what it comes down to. Whether you want to believe in Christ or not, I'm not even going to go into that. If you believe in yourselves, if you believe in each one, a hand is made by 5 fingers, at least in this planet, right? And the 5 will go to 10. It's really simple. Keep life simple, and you won't be confused. I mean, I don't know how else to bring it back, right? We want to come back from the other side of darkness, and even if you have the chance to say the questions, Dawn, the 3 questions he asked, if you're here today to ask those questions, just asking them, you're gifted, man. You went through one of the worst times in our lives, and here you are.
And here you sit.
And here you sit, so.
Here you sit. It has been a pleasure to have you guys join us. I love, Sherry, seeing how happy and in peace you are, and it's so refreshing to see Slick shaking his head. We have all kinds of people that come through here, all kinds of people that we interview. We actually have an interview from the Hope, Love, and Peace Foundation joining us in a few minutes from Arizona. To see how peaceful and happy you both are is refreshing in itself. Slick knows what we go through sometimes, right? It's like just peace in here right now. So it is lovely. How can people get your book?
They can go to my website. It's www.rickhellerministries.com, and they will. There's a link that will take them either to Amazon or to Barnes & Noble. It's available on both platforms, in both paperback and ebook format.
Incredible. RickHellerMinistries.com. And Sherry, your website is what?
BiblicalSculpture.com.
Beautiful pieces.
Buy the book and buy a sculpture.
Yeah.
And I don't say that to be facetious. I say it may give you a message that you've been looking for, because as you and I know, my friend, this has been a time of seeking truth. And a lot of people that come through that door right now are bewildered and they don't know what's going on, okay? And they don't know where they're going and they don't understand, why do I need a message? It's, you know, sometimes you need a compass, right? Sometimes you need a compass. It can be right at your fingertips. So wise up, man up, find an answer to your question.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, let's see what we got going on. Love, Peace, and Hope Foundation. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Introducing Verijet, a new concept in short-haul aviation designed to get passengers closer to where they want to go. Powered by the award-winning Cirrus Vision Jet. The aviation world is talking about its unique state-of-the-art safety features, including the aircraft parachute system, and safe return that allows it to land itself in an emergency. Cabins are disinfected between passengers, and microparticle filtration treats the air every 30 seconds. All in a beautifully appointed premium cabin with plenty of room and first-class service and amenities. Verijet, the best short-haul alternative.
Attention Florida residents. Is constant water damage from the elements putting holes in your pipes and your wallet? We cut the cost when disaster strikes. You deserve to have your house be a home again. At Triumph, we get you paid the most for your insurance claims. Broken pipes, water damage, and mold? Triumph Consulting covers it all. Call our offices now to qualify for a free house inspection at 954-669-4935 or visit www.wegetYouPaid.com.
When your property suffers from water, mold, fire, or biohazard, you need a professional remediation company that is fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Rescue Clean 911 offer 24/7 emergency service with 1-hour response times now in your area. Water, mold, fire, biohazard. Call now 1-833-253-2699.
Handling the hard jobs with a soft touch.
So, you've been hearing all the exciting buzz and chatter about this new game changer in the pickup and delivery and rideshare space. And now you want to know more. Well, forget everything you knew about the tired old delivery and rideshare services that bully restaurants, take advantage of drivers, and confuse consumers into spending way more than they should. Welcome to a new delivery and rideshare company, Trip Delivers and Trip Rides, where we put you first. When you sign up as a driver with Trip Delivers and Trip Rides, we onboard you with your own credit card merchant account. That's right! With Trip, you're in the driver's seat as an owner-operator of your own business, and you'll always earn 100% of the delivery fee, rideshare fee, cancellation fee, wait time, and tip. And therefore, we charge a low monthly fee to use the Trip platform. For only $39.99 per month, you can sign up as a side hustle driver, allowing you up to 75 rides, 75 deliveries, or 75 of both combined per month. Welcome to a new delivery and rideshare company, where drivers earn more, consumers and riders pay less, and restaurants are charged less. Trip Rides. Going places, doing good.
Looking for a cool, laid-back space with great people and even better drinks? You can't lose. The Artful Dodger, Boca Raton's hidden gem. A good, old-fashioned local bar is hard to come by, but not anymore. The Artful Dodger is a fun, casual place to sit back and relax. Located at 495 Northeast 20th Street in Boca Raton, you'll find your new favorite bar. The Artful Dodger. We'll see you there.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Every Catholic family supposedly wanted to have one child.
Talk it to your mic so we can all hear the story.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Anyway, every family would have the desire to have at least one child to either become a priest or a nun. And that they figured that was a good thing for the family, and the blessing would pass out on to everybody. And I don't know if that's changed in recent years. My brother-in-law, well, he passed away, God rest him. He was Catholic, great guy. His name was Brian. He was an Irishman. And what a good heart he had.
So you guys told us you have how many children?
We two.
2 children, 11 grandchildren?
Well,
they're very busy, I
There's
guess.
more.
Our oldest son had 4 children.
Talk it to your mic.
Oh. Our oldest son had 4 children, and he married a woman after he was divorced who had 4 children. So that made 8.
Oh, okay.
And they're
got a
all
head
older.
start.
And so
He's got
they
8
had
kids?
children, and that's how we became great-grandchildren.
Wow.
Wow.
Great-grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
That's unbelievable. Imagine having 8 kids.
You know, Dawn.
It's like being Orthodox.
When I, wow, she said that, I didn't.
It's true,
When I
though.
was, they said that, I didn't. Puerto Rican Jew didn't say that. When I was growing up as an altar boy, they used to have the priests used to gather together. It was something of the Knights of the Table or something. It was like 12 priests used to be in there, and you had to be picked to serve.
Yes.
You know, wine and then. So I got picked. And my mother says, wow, you're going to be in with all these, and it's very religious looking. They do this thing upright. So here I am getting ready the wines and things. I said, well, they're priests. They're going to want to drink wine. So I get up there. They only drink beer. It says wine. No wine. We drink beer. So I had to go to the store and stuff with my brother, and we got the beer and we brought it up. And here I am thinking, okay, now we're going to talk about God, right? This whole thing, intensity about God among these 12 guys, they're going to shoot it out. You know what they did? They talked about the Yankees. They talked about the Mets, the Jets, the Knicks. They didn't talk one thing about God. They talked about their life and how much they enjoy living in New York City. And they all looked at me and says, did you learn anything today? I says, yeah, never think you know the answer until it happens. But I gotta tell you, I have never, everything that I learned in the Catholic Church, to me, it pushes out to other things in other religions that I see. I'm always asking you, I make fun of the fact, you know, you take a shower, become a Jew. Remember you told me that?
The mikvah, yeah.
The mikvah.
The mikvah.
I said, I can take a shower, no problem. But is that really going to make me a Jew? Yeah, you're on your way there.
You know, there's all kinds of symbolic things in every religion. But the reality is do you believe in a higher power, whatever power that is, that helps guide you?
That's right, because we ain't here by accident.
So whatever guides, you know, whatever individual you find that guides you, if there's a higher power, whatever it is, there is.
And this is a time of reflection. You know, this is a time to sit back and say, we just came through some of the worst situations. I lost an uncle not too long, not because of COVID, but I lost an uncle not too long ago. And I'm beginning to see people that I grew up with are now going on to that next level. Yeah. And it's a shame that when I was his age, I didn't reflect to the fact that life is precious. And you gotta live the seconds, forget about the
You know what?
minutes.
Slick does do that. We tease him all the time. We've had a lot of fun with Slick, but he cherishes his food. I mean, you pray over your food, and we tease you, and we have a whole lot of fun with
But
Slick.
that's why everybody loves
But
following
he really
this guy.
has an enormous heart, and you value people and friendships and your mom. I mean, I told you that whoever you end up with is lucky because you're so good to your mom. I mean, at least that's what we believe in the Jewish religion. I'm assuming all other religions feel the same way as well. If a guy is good to his mom, then he will be a good husband, partner,
It's
spouse,
funny, they told
whatever.
us the opposite. If the daughter's good to her father, you got to win her.
That's probably true too. That's
they
probably
say.
true too.
That's what they say.
You know, believe in family, but he is truly like that. He's a good egg. He's got a really good heart.
True that.
First time we saw him eat, because he prays to his food.
Yeah.
Okay.
He enjoys his food. And Dan's just got slickism all the way. So about that, Dan, yesterday when you had 5 of them in the room for your show, and I was running the entire floor out here with Vinny, yeah, that won't happen again.
That won't happen again?
No.
I can't trap your entire
No, you cannot have our entire crew in your show anymore.
We will be timing your show when their Arnold show's playing.
But
you know what that
it
feels like.
It was a good adventure to figure that one out. But how was your show yesterday? Good?
I thought it went well. I could hang around for 20 minutes. 20 more minutes? 20 more minutes? So you wanna, okay.
Yesterday was some of the longest tapings I've ever seen in the 25 years.
Oh,
that I've
did
done
we
this.
ever get that show from RK?
We need that show back.
Can you ask Val, or can someone text him? Because we have to post that
Jay
at
Harmon did a
2:30.
3.5-hour shoot. The guy that went in there to record that
Ask Val
show
if she can
yesterday,
post it
he
today
came
at
out with a
2:30.
beard.
He looks like you.
Like this, he says, I think I grew a beard those 3.5 hours. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Never seen so many people in that studio in 14 months.
And they were saying, oh, we're learning. Well, you know what? Report card day is Monday. I'm going to see what you guys all learn. You're all hitting the boards on Monday.
3.5 hours they were doing.
Wow, that is tremendous. The other thing I wanted to talk about, in Puerto Rico, I took Linda with me to Puerto Rico, and my mother wanted to go to church for Easter Sunday.
Sure.
And we go down there, and in Puerto Rico is different because on Easter Sunday, they have a life-size statue of Christ inside a case, and you're supposed to walk for 10 miles with this thing.
Really?
Right? So I said to Linda, I says, are you sure you want to go to church? And she says, why? I said, this is a 6-hour church deal. And you can't say nothing for 6 hours, can you? And this is Spanish. I said, you want to try this? She says, you'll translate a little bit for me.
6 hours.
So we're sitting there, and I'm going, and you know what the priest said? If you don't shut up, I'm throwing you out of here. I said, well, that took care of that. 6 hours. I got up, I was so stiff, and then we had to walk with the statue. I mean, that's how seriously Humacao takes their Easter. And I was an altar boy. I never experienced anything like that.
Wow.
I don't know. I've got the 12-minute Dr. Seuss Seder, so I couldn't tell you about that.
What the hell is that?
Passover Seder, you've got Easter Sunday.
You have a 12-minute Seder?
I've got a 1-minute Seder, actually, but yeah.
What is that? That's
Well,
like a
there
TV
used to be
dinner.
the 6-hour Seder, right? The whole night Seder.
The Orthodox
Oh, the
Seder.
But now we've got it down to
all
like
night long.
there's a 1 minute, there's the short version, there's the Dr. Seuss
What do you
version.
put a TV dinner in the microwave and that's all you're done?
Pretty much as you do the plagues, why are we here? Go through the whole
Right.
Seder plate and go.
This is a shortcut.
Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you create this or you just?
I created some of them.
Oh, you created.
A lot of shortcuts.
There's a lot of
in my
shortcuts.
family.
She does too.
And my poor son, he's a lawyer, and he went to someone in the law firm's house for Passover, and they were Orthodox. So he wasn't allowed to touch his wife, and they sat there doing the services for like how many hours?
It was like 6 hours.
It's like 6 hours.
Wow.
We never heard of anything like that. But it's interesting because every group has their own festivals and their own ideas of how to do something, even though it's all from the Bible.
I like creating our own traditions because Erin's girlfriend is Cuban, and she's Cuban Catholic. She loves Judaism. She said because it's answered so many of her questions that were never answered in Catholicism. And yes, it comes from the Old Testament, so it's the same.
Okay.
She goes different hymns, different music, same stories. So she loves it. So we now have flan for
Flan.
Passover.
Wonderful.
Because
Wonderful.
it never rose, right? So it didn't rise. So you can have flan.
If you come to my house in the Bronx, you get flan every day.
For Hanukkah, she made
See, don't mess
What
with
are the
my
little
food.
fried?
French fries?
Matzo brie?
No,
Who?
Cuban. They're like it starts with a C. Croquetas.
Croquetas.
So for Passover, not for Passover, for Hanukkah, because it has to be in oil, we have croquetas. And for Passover, we have flan. So we've combined cultures because
course.
Hanukkah's about the oil.
You
Passover
could
is
take
about no
oil
bread.
And
Yes.
put it on anything.
So we now have
You
Cuban
don't have to fry the
croquetas.
oil. You just have to eat the oil. You know,
Yes.
you gotta clog your heart.
Exactly. You have to
Alright,
die
so
first.
If you take even a sound, little oil.
Clog your arteries, you got to die first, yes.
The
And it's got to be brown food if you're Jewish. So the croquetas.
gotta be brown.
Yes.
When
Have you
did that
noticed Jewish
happen?
food is always brown?
What?
Jewish food is always brown. There's brisket, there's
It's like
chicken,
brown?
there's matzo brie.
What about gefilte fish
Brown.
and chicken soup? It's not brown.
Beige.
Well, beige.
Well,
When
gefilte
she cooks
fish,
it,
no. But
Beige,
most of them are.
brown.
Maybe
Even the
overcook
matzah.
it.
Even matzah, they add some carrots and prunes because everything is brown for some color, but Jewish food is traditionally brown
You
or
know, it's so
beige.
funny.
That I think about this?
Puerto Ricans eat anything.
You've got pink ham, I know.
We
White
don't care
potatoes.
what it is. The more ham, the
Jewish
more
food is brown.
The only thing that we were told to do is on Friday, which flips. If you look at the Bible, it used to be the other way. Is you have to have fish on Friday. It used to be that the only day of the week that you were allowed meat was on Friday, and they flipped it. But other than that, don't mess with my food. All things go.
I know, you love your food.
I do. I don't think there's anything wrong with rice. Rice. Flan is fun.
I got to ask you a question though, because you put this piece here for a reason.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you your reasoning. Out of everything else that Sherry brought in, why did you put Samson here?
Because look at the time that we live in.
That's
Look
why
at-
I'm asking.
Look at everybody who's tuning in here, looking for an answer as to what is tomorrow.
But what does this story mean to you?
Because we are all this character, and these two are the pillars of life in my eyes.
That's why I ask.
And you have the power of changing anything in your life, but it believes in your belief. You know, they said, wasn't this the guy who cut his hair or something?
Yes, and what's interesting is he's like a model for Yeshua because he gave his life when he pushed those columns away and brought the whole temple down, and he gave his life for the people of Judea.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and so it's a symbol, and the story is he was in lust with Delilah, and she kept asking, "What is the source of your amazing strength?" And he finally gave in, and they cut his hair because it was the length of his hair. It was like a pact that he made as a child with God that he wouldn't cut his hair. It was like a sect. And when they cut his hair, he lost all his strength, and Delilah called in the Philistines. They were the bad guys. And they made him a slave. And that's why you see he's in chains. But what they didn't realize, that all the time he was, and they blinded him too. That's why he has a kerchief over his eyes. But what they didn't realize is his hair grew back while he was a slave. And his strength came back. And that's when he sacrificed his life for the people.
It reminds me of the story when you go to the doctor and you're feeling great. The doctor says they found a tumor. You're dying in 6 days. So you get all depressed, you get down. And then the doctor calls you the next day. He says, I made a mistake. We read somebody else's records. And for that day, you lived down. But that's you. That's your life. So that if something hits you and hurts you, and they go, man, didn't that hurt? And you say, no. You know, my toe, you broke it. Does it hurt? No. But they tell me it hurts them. Okay, but it doesn't hurt me. No. And this is why, not only that, but with the flowers, the
know,
the
it's
arrangement
spectacular.
is spectacular. But there's there's symbolism in everything we live in, in everything that we do. And if we're looking for answers, man, and I keep saying it over and over again, just look inside, look in that heart. Take that mirror, but take it to heart. You know, faith is really interesting. I used to sell life insurance.
Okay.
And I used to sell life insurance as, can you see life insurance? Not the paper you sign, but can you see life insurance?
No, no.
But when somebody dies and they give you the monies to do the right thing and yada yada, take care of your family, depending on how big the policy is, all of a sudden faith turns to reality. So I used to tell people, what makes a person different is not only faith, but it's actually believing in it. Because what good is to say you believe and then you act like a maniac? What good is it to say I believe and you don't walk the line you draw? Remember I told you you're gonna walk that line, you're gonna draw the line. Now you gotta walk it. A lot of people draw lines. How many people do you know that will judge you, that will criticize you, take a shot at you? They're all drawing lines. Ain't nobody gonna walk
your path.
That's true. So you want to be Jewish, you want to be Catholic, you want to be atheist, whatever you want to be. I tell you, Zane, we gave him a gift.
Ask the rabbi the question.
I gave an atheist a gift for Christmas. And I asked him to say the blessing at the table, the Christmas
Great.
meal we had.
Right.
And he said to me, how ironic is this that the atheist is getting the gift for Christ, the birthday gift, the Christmas gift. And then he asked me to say a prayer. I don't know any prayers. And I said, you just did it.
That's right.
You acknowledged the fact that you don't know. He thought I was going to say, you acknowledge the fact you were atheist. I said, you don't know. And that's all I wanted to hear. And then everybody ate.
Wow.
That's wonderful.
That's
is so
wonderful.
good.
It's so simple.
Wow. I wish you could join us on Wednesday nights.
I have Sarah's spiritual Wednesday night.
What a coincidence is that, right?
But I love that stuff. In New York City, they used to come up in the Bronx. They used to knock on the door, Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
And they used to come in. They, used to knock on the door. Everybody says, get away, and they slam the door and everything. So my ex-wife used to get upset because I used to bring them in. And I used to sit them on the sofa, and I used to give them coffee or something to drink because they were walking around and everything.
Sure.
And I said to him, if you promise not to argue with me and leave when she comes to the door and leave, you can come in and we can talk. And all of them. And they all knew me. They all knew me, where to go, get some coffee or something. And I never argue. I mean, that's what you believe in. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely, belief is self-centered. It's for you. If you want me to believe it, okay, I will. Am I going to take it to heart? I don't know yet. We'll find out.
Well, our studio is the great mixing ground of everybody, so.
Has this studio changed your life?
Sure.
Really? It's the first I've heard of that in 5 years.
Really? You've fibbing me.
No. Change your life. Listen to the question.
100%.
Because then you know your life.
I know what my life was. I know where my life is now.
You think you do.
And it has changed.
Okay. I stay quiet.
Valerie comes out.
You gonna
Look,
play
they
the
all
piano?
come out. They must all be
good.
interested in this conversation. We don't often get them out of their room. Yes, that's true too. That is true
And
too.
it's funny because and you got two younguns in here who are different backgrounds. Youngins. Youngsters. Youngins. From the Bronx, you call them youngins. And they have different backgrounds, right? They come from different areas. This one's engaged and about to be married. When is the wedding?
March.
In March of next year.
Wow.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov, yes.
You're all confused now, aren't you?
I'm very confused.
Now you guys just totally floored him on that one. All right, let's take a commercial break. Let's see where our guest is. If not, we continue our conversation. Let us know what gives you faith. Give us a call, 888-994-4995, Studio A, and we'll be right back. It's like that music, Keeping the Faith.
Kids for Kids Ministry. The vision is to see children in Haiti emerge from extreme poverty into an extraordinary destiny in Christ. The problem is the orphans in Haiti lack clean water to drink and food sustainability. These children need art-integrated education, medical needs, shoes, clothes, a lunch program, and teacher salary aid. The mission is to sponsor local leaders in Haiti to support them in the care of orphans and vulnerable children. In January of 2020, Kids for Kids traveled to Haiti to visit the orphans at their home and at their school. The school has now grown to 30 children attending daily classes, but there are many things to improve upon. To help us or to donate, contact Patty Paget at Kids for Kids Ministry, 561-876-1710. That's Kids for Kids Ministry at 561-876-1710.
Don't know how I'm feeling tonight, but I swear I'm fine. I'm broken inside, don't know where I know I can hide. Don't know how I'm feeling tonight, but I swear I'm fine.
Marseille, France. Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Welcome to Lost Harbor Spirits, a world where pirates inspire our spirits, treasures remain undiscovered, and flavors are infused with the essence of mysterious voyages. The distillery became one of the few women-owned craft spirits production sites in the U.S. From our award-winning spirits of vodka and rum to delicious gin, we're always coming up with some new and exciting flavors to keep your cocktails delicious and fresh. Proudly distilling out of West Palm Beach, Florida, Lost Harbor Spirits is a true treasure waiting to be discovered. Contact Palm Beach Distillery at lostharborspirits.com to take a tour or purchase your favorite spirit at your local liquor store.
Hi, I'm Tracy McDonough, owner and founder of Healing Moments. Healing Moments is a healing playroom, a mind, body, spirit center. Our service is love and compassion, and the environment is soothing, peaceful, and inviting. Every area is designed for healing and peace. We deliver services such as massage therapy or lymphatic drainage, energy healing and Reiki, chakra balancing, physical vascular therapy for circulation and pain, vibrational medicine using frequencies and oils, and music in order to calm and relax your mind, body, and spirit. We also offer detoxification services using infrared sauna, ionic foot baths, and power plates. All of our modalities are designed to reduce stress, anxiety, induce relaxation, relieve pain, and provide detoxification and inflammation reduction for optimal healing and wellness.
The Spa Facial by Maria has amazing facials, body treatments, and sugar body waxing for any special occasion. All our spa treatments have organic and natural ingredients concentrated just for your skin. We guarantee all natural products help you with that extra feeling of zen. The Spa Facial offers organic facials, foot detox, aromatherapy, manscaping, and face and body waxing. Call the Spa Facial for your spa appointment with Maria at 954-213-5034 or visit her website at thespafacial.info.
Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke? If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is a unique rum infusion. Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba Rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best combination of taste, smoothness, quality, and price, your clear choice is Gubba Rum. If you want that wicked smooth taste for yourself or your vacation staycation, visit GubbaRum.com to find your closest liquor store that carries Gubba Rum Gold and Gubba Rum Silver. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios that will set the venue for any media application. We offer remote services as a radio or TV production and continue to grow new venues to bring your ideas to life. We also specialize in video and photo content for social media. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
Hey everybody, this is Jeff from PromoStuffForYou.com. We are now entering some really challenging and uncertain times, but one thing is for certain is branding and marketing doesn't stop. At PromoStuffForYou.com, we have access to 1.4 million promotional and branded products. We want to sit down with you and help you come up with that right strategy to make sure that the remainder of this year goes smoothly for you and make sure that your name is out there. Branding is the most important thing a company can do, and it's not just for cattle anymore. So contact PromoStuffForYou.com, 561-693-2117. Visit our website, call us, we're happy to help. You can reach us at 561-693-2117. Looking forward to helping you any way we can.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
You went traveling somewhere just now, Batman. Where'd you go?
It's just remarkable because they're in the house, and I take a look at all the things that we have in here, and we have everything from sports to now biblical. I mean, you name it, soup to nuts in here. And I love some of the stuff that Barbara has going on and Amy has going on.
Well, so we got Barbara Silver also.
And Max also with the computers. Again, I want to thank Mark for giving us that expensive piece that's over by the door. And then there's the sports stuff from Alan.
And horses.
And horses.
And horses.
We've got a lot. That's all from Jay Harmon. So we've got a lot of amazing artists here in our mini gallery. We would love to show the gallery to you. Just let us know. You can pop on by. Everything you see in the studio is for sale. This is how the artists share their work and how they get it out to you, the public. During a pandemic, we put everything on the set. We show it around. The commercials, you get to see a glimpse of what goes on here. So anything we can do. And you got to check out our new merch store, brooklyncafe.tv. I actually have someone who wants to make earrings for us. For the merch store. You know those little coffee cup earrings?
Perfect.
Oh, so we're going to be adding those to the merch store.
Those?
Sure. So we're going to be adding those Swarovski crystal coffee cup earrings to the merch store. We've got shirts, we've got mugs, we have the hot dog shirt, more coming as well.
Oh my God, the hot dog shirt. And we have another studio at the radio station at WNN, which is our affiliated radio station. And there is more art.
More horses.
There are horses, there are people, there's all sorts of art. And we are now officially going to be opening up there, and she's going to allow me to put stuff in the kitchen because I'm going to dress up the kitchen. and we're gonna have some art there for sale. Everything's for sale, even my Lucy. I can't hide this. I keep trying to hide this. That's my favorite piece in the whole studio.
Which one, ours?
Lucy.
That's not Lucy, that's us.
Our piece up there.
That's not for sale.
I know, but I have to hide it because everybody comes in and says, oh, can I buy that? No. So I went from the room to there to hide it. And then there's another one of Lucy and Desi Arnaz in that other studio, and somebody came in to buy it, and I raised the price on purpose.
Did they buy it?
No.
But
They
actually,
did
what
not.
Jay Harmon is doing, the colored pencil artist, we've been working on this idea for years. Instead of the Last Supper, he's creating the first breakfast for us.
Oh, wow.
So he's creating the first breakfast with all of our friends and our crew and our sponsors and our artists. They're all around this table. So he's working on drawing that. Hopefully we'll have it by the holidays.
Yes, it's a nice piece. He says it's going to take him a little while to do it, but I already know. I said leave room
For new
because when
friends.
they see it, people are going to say, hey, how come I'm not on there? I can imagine. I can just imagine.
Yep.
But it's the creativity in here that it just blows me away. Blows me away.
So a lot of fun stuff. So you were a photographer also.
Actually, I'm an artist, so I do everything. You know, an artist is a visual thing. Yeah, I sculpt, I paint. I even paint dogs, cats, and horses for people commission that. I make dolls that I, sell to different.
What kind of dolls?
They're little peg dolls, and I make them so they look exactly like the family. So they commission me to do their family, even with pets and all.
You're talking to the mic.
I forgot I was on. Yeah, so in my arts, I love crafts. I love painting, sculpture, making dolls. I don't know, what did I forget?
I think you.
You think I covered it?
Oh, what about the specialized ones for the baby carriers?
Oh, there's groups on social media, and one group is a designer baby carrier called Tula, and the people who buy them are fanatics about it. They love Tula. So I would make mother and child with a Tula backpack, the exact backpack, because their prints are limited, and they would, buy it. And sometimes I'd have a baby on front, an older child on back, and sometimes we threw in the husbands and the dogs. But these are all on 3-inch little wooden peg dolls.
We're going to check out the peg dolls. Maybe we need a Dr. Laura peg doll.
Dr. Laura, we're getting the bobblehead.
So she goes like this, that one.
What is the tallest sculpture you've ever made?
Oh, I made a nude that was way taller than me.
A nude?
A nude woman, a body.
A naked woman.
A naked woman, yes. And it was massive. And I made it out of plaster. And I would take plaster and throw it on the armature and throw it on. I always like to get into my art.
What'd you do with it?
Well, for many, many, many years, it sat in my mother's living room. It was the focal point of the living room. And then when we moved my mother to Florida, someone who had admired it through the years, bought it. And so it's now in that person's house.
And you cannot have it.
No, that's not. The reason I asked her, in that corner over there, that I have a calling, and I would like a waterfall, a sculpture, but it has to be tall.
Yeah, it would have to be tall.
That it comes down, and at the bottom, you know how a waterfall explodes. And I had a vision that it was there. And ever since I've been here,
Wow.
I've been watching that. And I asked people, but you do some fantastic stuff. That's why I asked.
Look
what's the
at
tallest?
my Moses who parted the Red Sea sculpture. It's on the
How big is it?
website. And you'll see what I did with the water parting and the foam and
Check
the
it out.
bubbles. And it might ring a key to your desire to have a waterfall.
I think might be the.
Let's see,
It's
biblical.
called
if I could-
Moses Parts the Red Sea.
Amazing stuff. And it's nice because you can remember the movie, was it E.T.? What was the movie?
E.T. Go Home.
Where the guy drew, he made the mountain out of clay. You remember that?
That was, yes, it was Close Encounters of
Close
the Third
Encounters.
Kind.
And the artist painted the mountain.
Oh, she's got your favorite.
The artist painted the mountain, and she says, you have to sculpt it to know what's there.
Yeah.
This,
Let me see.
there's Michael. That's your favorite.
Oh, yes.
That's his favorite is Archangel Michael.
Oh, Michael the angel?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you should see it. I did another angel with Balaam and his donkey, and that's a Bible story. And it's a more abstract, more modern angel than the Michael, the archangel. So, but I have all these, make all these kinds of sculptures.
Holy smokes.
That's
Yeah,
Moses
if you look
parting
at the
the sea.
water on him parting the Red Sea, you'll see the kind of thing I would do for a
Holy
waterfall.
Maybe we get Tiny to build it.
I got to tell you, you talk about Noah's Ark and two animals, 2 by 2. We can take the artist on the ship,
Two
and we're
by
going to
two.
have our own ark, but on a pirate ship. We have kind of like our own calling here. Instead of the ark, we got a pirate ship. Instead of the animals, we've got artists and clients and crew. We can have like our own little microcosm world.
We have a 40.
Am I right?
Yeah, we have a 40-foot pirate ship that Dawn's daughter brought up to Space of Mind, the school, and we met Tiny, and we want to bring it here to do a children's special. We're going to do a show, and we want to send it to TV to see if anybody wants to pick it up. And so all of these things have come after this
It's wonderful.
wild ride that we've taken. And I don't have enough time in the day to look at all the things that are coming. But that has always been a corner for some reason. I got a banner in there now because I thought it would take away the itch. It's just made it worse.
You can't say things like that. That's all I can tell you.
That would be some canvas I'd have to make. What is it, 10 feet?
Oh my gosh, can you even imagine?
We would need to build it from wood and then put whatever you're going to put on it and then remove it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an idea.
I know you do. You
Well,
always
you
have an
the
idea.
You have a lot of artists in
He
Rhode.
always has ideas, so.
One of the artists told me that they would. She said to me, "The water's flowing. What do you want in the water? Because there has to be an image in the water. It just can't be water."
Why?
When it happens, you'll see why.
We shall see. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Wow,
Oh.
what a nice show.
Oh, it was so much
So
fun.
thank you for
We
joining
love
us.
meeting
More to
you.
come. We'll have sculptures here. If you want to take a look at them, you can go to biblicalsculpture.com. Check out all the different sculptures. And you can also get this book. You can go to rickhellerministries.com. A lot of things. Saturday night, if you're free and you want to go over to the Katrina Gallery, you can text Katrina or give her a call. 561-599-0809. And tonight, if you ladies want to do some shopping, head over to Brook and Arrow Boutique over at the Delray Marketplace. Tell them that the Brain Bowl sent you. Proceeds of tonight's sales go back to supporting Alzheimer's and Parkinson's events through Brain Bowl events and Miss Pamela Polani. So a lot of good stuff. We've got a live show tonight with Kids in Capes. The girls will be coming in. And actually, Brielle is heading to Times Square to do a photo shoot. She's going to be on the
So how is she
marquee
gonna
in
be
Times
here?
Square.
I
I think she
saw
goes
that.
next week.
Amazing kid.
So she's going to be on the marquee in Times Square. So they're coming in for a live show. And Goldie Wynn's coming in, the author of this lovely book, Rainbow in the Night, A Journey of Redemption. And this cover was created by Sherry. So a lot of good stuff coming up.
See how all that mixes together?
I can just tell you, it's a lot going on. And look at this. It's like I got a working desk here.
You do very good with that, by the way.
I do good stuff? Thank you. I
pretty
think that's why you keep me around.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Have a great afternoon, everyone. Stay safe, be kind to each other, and we will see you tomorrow. 9 a.m. drive time.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
And that's how we roll.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.
In the cold and sleepless nights, I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can thicken every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna save her. Your moons and craters. Open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away like an avalanche. Helpless as I fall, the words can't say it all, sweeping me away like an avalanche, like an avalanche. I listen for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping thrills and colors. Just a ray of light, bathing me in drops of ink that gleams across my body. Wish you could unfreeze my heart and we could fly